Greetings and welcome to Monster Legends, and another special feeding episode. This time we're going to be feeding a fella that I put together from cells. I had a lot of them. I don't remember where I got most of them, but I did have them. So I decided to craft Amphidator. And Amphidator has unfortunately 2 locked Rune slots. See, he's very sad about that. Anyway, he is from the sea. Yeah, I figured that out. And he's a villain. Oh, he's a villain. You're a bad little guy, aren't you? Yes, you are. Maybe that's the reason you came up with 2 locked Rune slots. Anyway, he's also water, as well as being a legendary. So let's find him a home, because I have a lot of space now, and we're going to put him there. I'm going to use that as a drop location from now on, before they move over to their final destination. Okay, for a minute there I thought he ran off, because that's what the villains do sometimes when they're in trouble. Alrighty. Okay, so there he is. He's hanging out in there. What's his name? Sisquana. No, we're not going to call him Sisquana. We'll come up with some kind of cool name for him. And suggestions are always welcome. Alright, so we have this fellow here. This is Amphidator. He is a legendary. He is water. He is hardened, so he has a 20% chance to resist negative status effects. Alright, let's check out some stats. Strength's not bad. Life is slightly above normal. Speed's not bad too. I don't really know what this guy does. I never really faced him, at least that I remember. So I'm not sure if he's a damage dealer. I'm guessing he would be some kind of a damage dealer. His strength is a little bit above the speed, but not that much. So who knows? We're going to have to find out. I doubt he's any kind of denial though. But another water damage dealer is definitely something I would not mind having. Alright, let's check out some skills. Amphibious Predator deals low physical damage to 1 enemy, and Insatiable Chaser deals moderate water damage to 1 enemy. All right, and of course that, that special skill that looked like he took off on us. Poison Net deals massive water damage to all enemies, applies stun and daze to all enemies. Okay, but I mean, if they're stunned, that's kind of the ultimate daze. But, you know, the daze does last a couple of extra turns. But I guess the big part about that is the fact that it stuns, and of course, the massive damage, which is always a good thing. This formidable water beast has a traditional, yet infallible, hunting technique. He segregates a lethal venom and waits for it to act. For a long time, scientists tried to find an antidote, but now they have ultimately given up. Is that supposed to be secretes? I don't know. Okay. Anyway, he obviously is going to be doing some poisoning too, I'm guessing. So let's feed him up. What could possibly go wrong with that, right? After all, he's a villain, and he's going to be poisonous. So yeah, that should work out great. So let's get him up to, okay, his final evolution apparently, right? He's got his eyes on you. Probably his teeth too if he gets close. And watch it, he can vanish really quickly. Alright, so let's get him up to 7 so we can start seeing skills. Small Spores deals moderate water damage to 1 enemy, 50% chance of applying poison to 1 enemy. Okay, so like I said, poison. It's in the description, right? Okay, so let's continue to level 10. More skills. Limb Scratch deals moderate water damage to 1 enemy, 50% chance of applying bleeding. Okay, so he's going to poison and he's going to bleed. So he's got torture effects. Yes. Alright, so let's continue again. Let's get to level 15. Long Distance Migration applies stamina regeneration to itself. Okay, I mean, I'm probably not going to keep that. I'll just throw it in the back for now, because I like self-buffs and supporty stuff in the back. And besides, we know we're not going to keep a 50% chance for bleeding, right? I'm kind of hoping that something like that gets mixed with something else. You know, just a skill. I mean, the good thing about it is it does have a 0 cooldown and a 0 stamina cost, right? So it might very well be something you keep. But I mean, think of it this way. If he gets his stamina taken away, then all he's doing is starting the process of getting his stamina back. He could probably just hit charge and it would give him more stamina. That's what I'm thinking right there. Of course, the cooldown thing, I don't know. It just seems like hitting the old charge button would actually do more good. Alright, let's continue to level 20. Tainted Spores deals moderate water damage to one enemy, applies poison and bleeding. Okay, so now we're in the fun area. That's not a bad skill at all. That is a 1-round cooldown and pretty low in the stamina cost. All right, I'm going to put that right there. Gee, I hope there's a group version of that coming. All right, so let's continue. You got some stuff there, dude. It's too bad you're a villain. Spores Injection deals heavy special damage to one enemy, applies poison to one enemy. That is a 0 cooldown. All right. Well, I'm going to put it there, because why wouldn't I put it there, right? Yeah, that's the kind of thing you probably keep because, I mean, it's heavy damage, heavy special damage, and of course it's a 0 cooldown. Therefore, nullifying that last attack even more. You know, the stamina thing? I mean, if he's got a 0 cooldown attack that does heavy damage and poisons, yeah, I mean, there's less of reason to use that last one. I'm thinking, yeah, just hit the charge button. That's kind of better than that, right? All right, let's continue to level 30. Open Vein deals heavy water damage to one enemy, applies bleeding to one enemy. That is also a 0 cooldown. Now, here's the thing. I got a feeling we're going to get some kind of a group attack that's going to have either bleeding or poison or maybe both. You know, I think Open Vein, I probably should keep it. All right, I'm going to take Open Vein for now, and then we'll see what happens. I mean, it's a water attack. It does more damage, and if I want the poison, I can go for the other one, you know? All right, let's continue. To level 35. Poison Splash deals heavy water damage to all enemies, applies poison to all enemies. All right, and that's obviously the big one right there. Okay, that's good. That's pretty darn good right there. And it's only a 2-round cooldown. He's not going to have a lot of problems with cooldown resets, is he? The costs are actually kind of low, too. I mean, that first skill is only 27 stamina, and this one's 25 stamina, and this one is 25 stamina. I mean, why does this exist? I don't understand why that exists. You know, okay, so we got this one. This is going to do poisoning. Do I need this one anymore, or should I put the other one in? Actually, not that one. This one. Actually, that's a special damage attack, so yeah, I got to keep that one. Yeah, I think we're kind of keeping these. I'm hoping there's some kind of a better supporty thing that I can throw in, you know? All right, let's see. Maybe it's at level 40. Mating Shout applies stamina regeneration, damage boost, and precision to itself. That's obviously better. Now, it does have a cooldown, but you know what? That's obviously better. This one here, just giving stamina regeneration, not really very useful. I mean, this one here, if he gets his stamina taken away, he can do this. At least he's getting more stuff, right? Precision, very nice. You know, damage boost, 3 turns, only 50%. But you know what? He does a lot of damage, so 50% is pretty darn good. So, all right, I'm happy with that one. And if we're going to get anything else, maybe we get an upgrade of the special damage attack? I don't know. I mean, we probably are getting one more. I guess we're going to have to see. All right, level 45. Tainted Spores. That one? I don't think so. I don't think so. See, we're going to count on them having poison now, right? Period. We're going to count on them having poison because we're giving it to them in the first attack. And then you have this one, which is water, does more damage, and it's a 0 cooldown, and it also does the bleeding. So the thing is, I just don't think that Tainted Spores, even though it's a good skill, I don't think this guy needs it. If somebody doesn't get the poison, it probably, they resisted it or they're immune to it. So, not that big of a deal. All right, so let's see. We should get one more, I think, maybe? Infected Spores Blow. Deals moderate water damage to all enemies, applies poison. Oh, that's a problem. Okay, so we did end up getting a group version of the Tainted Spores. That's kind of a problem. Yeah, I'm going to have to take that one out, ain't I? Because I need this one because it's special damage. Alright, so we have this one, obviously. We're not losing that one. They're both water attacks. It would have been nice if one of them was special, but that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. 2 group attacks that do torture effects. I'm okay with that. I am, really I am. Alright, so I'm going to lose this one, the Open Vein. It still leaves me with this one, which does about the same amount of damage, I think, than the open vein, but it's special damage. And it is a 0 cooldown, so I really do need to keep one of those. This one is not as important anymore. We're doing a lot of water damage. Alright, so we're done. I don't think we're getting anything else. Alright, so let's just finish him off and get him to level 60. Tainted Spores, yeah, we did get a group version of that. Is it the same damage? Yeah, it is. It's literally a group version of the same skill. It's the same damage. Okay, that's good. And finally, level 60. Tainted Spores. They really want me to take Tainted Spores, but I got the group version. I don't need it. I'm just going to very quickly look here. You never know. Okay, Tainted Spores sitting right on top. Open vein, good skill, but just don't need it anymore. And then we're into the 50% one. So I think we got all the skills that we wanted. All right, let's check out his stats. Okay, his strength is okay. His life's a little bit above normal. That's not bad. Speed's not too bad. Speed's not too bad at all. After all, he is a damage dealer. And he's going to be doing torture effects too. So he's going to do damage with his hits, and he's going to do damage with the torture effects over time. Very, very interesting indeed. All right, so let's take a look at the final stats, pardon me, the final skills that I selected. And I think, generally speaking, these are the ones you're going to take. These are the ones you're going to take. Obviously, we're going to start with the first two, which are just no-brainers, right? All right, here we have Poison Splash. Deals heavy water damage to all enemies, applies poison to all enemies. So this is a heavy damage hit. It's just over the line, right? I mean, the gauge isn't showing it. It's probably just over the line. But it's going to do heavy water damage, and it's going to attempt to poison them. The poison, of course, is going to last for 4 turns. Poison is a very good torture effect. Very good torture effect. And this one isn't really bad on the stamina either. That's the one thing about him. It's funny that he gets a stamina regen because his stamina costs are quite reasonable. For what this one does, it's pretty good. And it has a 2-round cooldown, which means you can use it once every 3 turns. Pretty nice, especially when you're talking about a creature that has this one too. This is Infected Spores Blow. Deals moderate water damage to all enemies, applies poison and bleeding to all enemies. And this one is the same stamina cost, 27, and also has a 2-round cooldown. If he didn't get you with poison the first time, he's going to get you with it this time, and he's going to throw in some bleeding too. Those guys, those two working together are very good, especially if your enemy is susceptible to water damage. And then we have this one. This was the sole special damage attack, and I kept it just because of that. It also is very useful. We have Spores Injection. Deals heavy special damage to one enemy, applies poison to one enemy. So he's got 3 skills that apply poison. The most important part about this for me is it's a 0 cooldown, and it's heavy special damage. If he gets his cooldowns reset, well, he can just do this. If he's waiting for the cooldowns to come back on those first 2, then he can just do this. So he uses the first one, right, the big one, then he uses the second one, this one, and then he can come back and do them again. So that's the thing about it. Or you can do this one right here. We have Mating Shout. Applies stamina regeneration, damage boost, and precision to itself. And that's got a 3-round cooldown. There's no stamina cost to that too. So if he gets his stamina taken away, for instance from relics or a general Thetis, well, he can do this one. This will start the path of getting his stamina back, but it will also give him extra stuff. Now, he had an earlier skill that just gave stamina regeneration, and I didn't see any use in that at all. Because even though it had a 0 stamina cost, and it had a 0 cooldown cost, you could just get more stamina back by hitting the old charge button. It just didn't make any sense. Now, this one does give a damage boost and precision, and considering his skills, and considering the damage he does already, yeah, that's going to really help. He might just use this one at the beginning of a fight if the denial actually gets things under control. If the denial gets things under control, say resets their cooldowns and there's nothing they can do, then he could just go ahead and do this and be ready for the second round and really let his attacks go crazy, right? Although, considering he has torture effects, he's probably better off just attacking. So I honestly don't know how much this one's going to get used. I really don't, because, I mean, he's got the first 2 group attacks, then he's got the special attack, then he can just go back to the group attacks again. I mean, it gets to the point where he needs stamina, he's going to hit charge, you know? I suppose you could do this one, but it'll come back quicker if you use charge. Not really sure about that, but he does have it if he needs it. Frankly, the first 3 skills are enough. Now, in terms of runes, well, he does do a lot of damage. And he's got some heavy hitting skills, so you're going to want damage on him. My thoughts are I would want 2 damages on him. 2 pretty healthy damages on him so he can really take advantage of it. Now, here's the thing. In his case, I would actually consider putting a regular speed on him. Because he's got the 2 group attacks with the dots on them, you know, the torture effects, I really want him acting pretty quickly. You know, it's not a matter of sitting back and waiting for the next big attack. I would really want him to get all of those torture effects on as soon as possible. So instead of putting a support speed on him, I would probably put a real speed on him. Because I would want him attacking as quickly as possible and as often as possible. It would drain his stamina, but again, I don't think it's going to be a problem for him. You know, 140... he could run through his attacks, his first 3 attacks, and then come around to the next one before he even starts seeing a problem. He can probably get 4 attacks off in that rotation before he has a stamina problem, unless, of course, some kind of relic or something takes stamina away from him. In fact, what are his relics anyway? Okay, armor and trap. Okay, armor and trap. I was wondering, did he have a banner? Because that would be devastating if he had a banner. That's what I'm thinking in terms of strength and an actual speed. That way he can hit harder and he can actually do it more often. So I said in his case, I personally would not put a support speed on him. I do that with a lot of my damage dealers, but I think he benefits from going quickly because you want those dots on them. You want that torture effect going on as soon as possible. And you want him to do the 2 of them as quickly as possible because especially if they're susceptible to water damage, it's going to do a lot of damage. Anyway, this is Amphidator, and he is really, really good. We're probably going to be seeing him in the future, not in the next testing video, probably the one after that. So thank you very much for your attention. I really appreciate it. And play games, because games are fun. See ya.